Hi everybody, it's Kathy. Welcome to week 4 in Marketing Principles. I want to share a few things with you in regards to what we have coming up in the next few weeks and what you're going to see, as well as I want to review a little bit of the discussion board from week 3 with you and give you some of my thoughts on it. I don't usually explain things in the discussion board because sometimes what happens is I'll say something and then other people want to say the same thing. So I usually wait until you're done with the discussion board, and so you'll usually get a video from me after just to kind of point a few things out that you're talking about. The first thing that I want to share with you is actually, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so you're not looking just at me, is going to be from the lessons. You're going to start to see additional weeks are going to pop up in your view, so you can see that I've put on week 5 and week 6. The other things that you're going to see are going to be the start strong pieces are going to be going away. I'm just going to pull them out so you don't see them anymore, so we can concentrate on the lessons that we're going to concentrate on for the rest of the semester. And so again, those start strong pieces were an additional learning piece for you to kind of get you ready for the experience here at CVTC. So with that being said, I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that I found in your discussion board. And I'm just going to go to the discussion so we can kind of see what the discussion was for week 3. And then I'm going to hit on a few things. First of all, I'm sorry that some of you got hungry during the discussion board. I know there's a lot of things about food, especially McDonald's and those types of places and Domino's. And so if you were reading it when you were hungry, it might have seemed like I planted that there, but I didn't, just so you know. So I did see a lot of discussion about how McDonald's runs things. And one of the things I want to talk about is in your discussion, some of you realized, boy, McDonald's, they change up their menu to fit their market that they're looking at, and they absolutely do that. India is a really great example for this because they don't have hamburgers in India. Why, do you ask? Some of you probably know this already. Well, the cow is sacred there. So to actually have a hamburger or a cheeseburger is blasphemy. So of course you're never going to see that in India. So I'm glad that you were able to relate to those pieces. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you about in your discussion was social media and the growth of social media. And social media really is global. And it was a game changer for marketing. For marketers, we do a lot more things that we can now because of social media. And we're able to reach a whole lot more markets that are out there. Not just local markets, but worldwide markets for it. So I was really happy that some of you talked about that. Another thing that I want to talk about that you were discussing was I'm so happy that you were able to read in that you need to have a good understanding of cultures and the different types of cultures and how cultures are important to really understand before you can even get into that market. Most marketing firms, worldwide marketing firms, have locations here in the United States as well as locations in London and Japan and India and all of these other places around the world. And of course they do that because it's easier for someone who lives in that culture on a regular basis to truly understand what that market is. And so I'm glad you talked about that within your discussions. Some of the other things that I wanted to talk about is different countries and how different countries kind of use their marketing. The United States is very, very, very conservative when it comes to our marketing. You can go to other places, and some of you may have gone to Mexico or Europe or somewhere of that nature, and you probably have watched maybe a little bit of TV if you weren't, touristing it up. Maybe you watched some of the television. Maybe you saw some of the commercials that are on in other countries. They are a lot more risk-takey, if you will. That's a word of Kathy's. With their commercials and with their marketing than we are here in the United States. We're a little bit more conservative. I want to share with you a website that kind of shows this. Now, where did I put that? Oh, here we go. I'm going to bring it over here so you can see it. So here's a website that you can travel to, and it's Adweek, which is a online marketing firm that really concentrates on advertising. And again, you can see the address up here. Oh no, you can't. You can't see it because my picture's in the way. Hold on a second. Let me move myself, and we'll come back. Here you go. Here's the address right here. that you can travel to. You can also Google Ad Week 20 of the world's funniest ads for 2017, and you can go ahead and view them and watch them. Again, they talk about how Nike does their advertising in, let's say, Norway. It's a little bit different than how you would see it here, or advertising in Canada, Japan, all of these other countries. So it's really interesting to see the difference with that. So if you're interested in learning more about that or seeing more of those, check those out. Speaking of Nike, it brings me to conversations that you had in regards to Nike in there. One of the things that I want to share with you is Nike, when it comes to marketing, in most cases, we have to follow the rules and regulations and policies of the country that we're in. So for instance, Nike, who trademarked their swoosh here in the United States, when they wanted to go into India, what they found out is there were some really smart people over in India and said, okay, Nike's not here yet, but they're going to be here and they're going to be huge. So what they did is they trademarked, and I want to say it's India, I can't remember exactly. They trademarked the swoosh in that country. And so when Nike wanted to come into that country, they actually had to pay them to get the swoosh, because just because you have something trademarked in the United States doesn't mean that trademark is a global trademark. There isn't anything like that yet. So if you're a global business, you have to trademark in every single one of the countries that you're going to be in. One of the other things that I wanted to show you that I always found really interesting is when we are talking about global, and we are talking about, some of you mentioned, I didn't realize that, like Domino's and McDonald's and all of those places were in other countries. I always found this really funny. If you go to, and there's plenty of pictures of this, and you can see it right here. These are the pyramids, the Egyptian pyramids, and you'll notice that you can sit at a Pizza Hut and just gaze out at the pyramids. How fun would that be? I mean, this is really new age of what we're seeing. This would be if you were you're at the pyramids and you're looking across the street. This is what you see. So not only do you have your Pizza Hut, but you got your KFC there too. So that's a 2-for-1 really for meals. But I always thought that was really interesting to see. One more thing that I want to talk to you about is your discussion about companies and how it's important that they relate to the community. And I completely agree with this. Think about companies that you never knew were in the Chippewa Valley or around where you live. You never knew about them because maybe they don't do as well of a job to relate back to the community, to give back to the community. And really the piece that we call that is causal marketing. So it's marketing for a cause. And part of a cause is giving back to the community in some way. So I was really happy that I got to see that from you in your discussion as well. So you have another discussion that's going to be coming up next week. You should see weeks 5, 6, 7, and 8 start to appear. And again, those start strong pieces, you're going to see them gone within there. I hope you're really enjoying this class. And again, I'm happy to do these videos for you periodically so we can still relate. Okay? Have a great weekend, guys. See you later. Maybe.